It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish, and I'm the host of this program here. Well, we're so excited that you have tuned into our program. If this is your very first time, a huge welcome to you. The Divas That Care has been doing podcasts now for 10 years, and we have a variety of amazing hosts on our new network, the Divas That Care Network, and you can listen to these amazing women at divasthatcare.com. Well, today I have an amazing young diva that I'm going to be interviewing, Alexandra Wright. And Alexandra is absolutely extraordinary, and I know that you're going to love her story today. So welcome to the program, Alexandra.
Thank you so much. So I am 16 years old, and I am the co-CEO of Cool Kids Science RVA, which is my STEM business. And thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, I'm excited to have you. We have a mutual friend in common, Jocelyn, and she recommended having you on our program. And I was so excited because when I started reading about your bio and the things that you're doing, and then you and I had chatted, I thought, oh my goodness, you are doing so many fantastic things out there. So if you don't mind, Alexandra, can you kind of share a little bit about yourself?
Sure, of course. So like I mentioned before, I'm 16, and currently I am a rising sophomore in college. I will be majoring in physics and biology, and so a little bit about how I'm, 16 in college is that my school has a program called the Program for the Exceptionally Gifted, where you get to sort of go to college early and either skip part of or all of high school, depending on just when you apply and when you choose to go. So I've always been interested in science and building things, and so that's part of the reason of why I started Cool Kids Science RVA. So I originally started Cool Kids Science RVA in 2015 when I was much younger, because my neighborhood had a girls' entrepreneurship fair where girls who had their own businesses or products that they wanted to sell could come and share their products or talk about their business services with sort of the neighborhood and the community. And when I went, unfortunately, I was sick that day, and so my two younger sisters went for me, and so we ended up, I believe, selling out and taking online orders. And so since we did so well, we decided to make this our business. And so now myself and my two younger sisters are all co-CEOs of Cool Kids Science RVA, where we make science kits for younger kids from kindergarten through sixth grade. My favorite of our kits is our magnetic slime kit because it's super fun and it looks amazing. We also lead different STEM activities and workshops and participate in science conferences. And we do a lot talking about just good science and environmental policies and advocating for sort of what we'd like to see in that area.
Oh my goodness, that's extraordinary. I love it. And you started at such a young age. You know, you are only 16 right now going to university, but to be able to start a program like that, why did you decide to build a STEM business? You know, I'm always, interested in that. And at a young age, what really drove you to do science back then?
Well, I've always loved science, and I think the biggest thing is that I've always loved being, outside. And so I've always just seen things around me and wondered how they work and how things happen, and I've always been very creative too. And my parents have always done a really amazing job of surrounding me with other people who have similar interests of me and just exposing me to lots of different things. And so I was really able to figure out what I liked when I was younger and then have lots of different opportunities to go to different camps or take different classes or do things in the summer that were in my interest area. And so it was easy for me to figure out, I like science and then to learn more and do as much in science as I possibly could when I was younger. And so when the opportunity came to, participate in this, selling fair in my neighborhood, it just kind of made sense. And it wasn't super difficult because I already had been exposed to and surrounded by science that it was pretty easy. And then because we did well, I just sort of decided, why not keep doing this. I enjoy it, and my sisters enjoy it. So it felt more like fun than a business, and it definitely still does.
Yeah. You know what? And that's the best business to have, is something that you're enjoying. So you know what? You're smarter than a lot of us that have been entrepreneurs for years, because to be able to do that at such a young age, I think it's absolutely extraordinary. So you're mentioning that you put these kits together. Can you describe a little bit about that? Because I find that interesting. You've hired somebody to, or do you buy them from a location? Like, tell me a little bit about that process, because I think it's really cool to share that with, perhaps some of your peers out there.
So for the science kits, we have a couple different themes, but our most popular theme is magnetism. So we have 4 kits that are all about the science of magnets and how magnetism works. And they're very, I guess, explorative, where you put them together and then you learn as, the kit, as you see, like, the magnetism happening. So, for example, for our magnetic slime kit, that one comes with a container of slime, and then it comes with iron filings, like little iron shavings, and it comes with a magnet and an instruction card. And so basically the student or the child mixes the iron filings in with the slime, and then once the iron filings are mixed in, you can use the magnet and sort of hover the magnet above the slime. And because the slime is now magnetic, it moves towards the magnet, and it's really awesome to watch. And it looks like magic, but it's science.
That is awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. Do you have like a website where people go and check it out and then they can order on the website, or do you sell this, at a specific location?
So we sell a lot at kids' business fairs and also business fairs around where we live. And then we also sell through our Facebook and our Instagram. Those are both Cool Kids Science RVA.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to be posting that on our social media, because I think it's really neat to see some of the stuff that young entrepreneurs are doing. And this sounds absolutely extraordinary. And I think that a lot of people are going to really enjoy that, especially with birthdays and with Christmases and things like that. Why not get a science kit? I know for myself, and I mentioned that to you in a talk, I have a daughter that is very much into science like yourself, and, she's always wanting more science kits and more things to do and learn more. And I love that, because it's a great thing to, give out to, a young person in your family. But, especially, I think that you are working towards working with education and girls too. And I like that. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. So like I said, I've always loved science, and I've always been able to be around other people who enjoyed science and people that I could learn from. But as I started to get older and I started to work with other, like lots of different nonprofits and libraries and people in different communities, I think I started to see some of the differences and I guess the resources that different people have depending on where they live and things like that. And in particular, in being a girl, I saw that a lot of other girls didn't have the same, the same support in pursuing things in science or the same resources that I did. I kind of think of myself as being very lucky. And so I was like, this isn't fair at all. This makes me kind of angry. How do I have all this support and know all this about science and then other girls and other people don't? So I really just wanted to make sure that, or try to help and make sure that other people had the same resources as I did. And so that's part of the reason as to why we, Cool Kids Science, moved from just making science kits to leading science workshops, because I was like, I may not be super smart, but I do know a decent amount about science. And so if I can teach that to people who are younger than me, I think that would make a difference.
Well, you know what? I think you're doing an extraordinary job, and you are definitely making a difference. And I love what you're doing. You mentioned that you've got a thing called STEM Days coming up. Can you share with us about that? Because I think it's great. I know that it's specific for your area, or is this an online program? I should ask you that.
Yes, so STEM Days I'm super, super excited about. I just announced it on our Facebook, I think 2 days ago. So starting, I believe, August 4th, going through the week before Thanksgiving, which is like November 17th, I'm going to be leading weekly STEM lessons and STEM workshops. These lessons are online, so they're not specific to my area. Anyone who has access to Wi-Fi is able to do them. I'm going to be using the Zoom platform, which is free. That way as many people can participate as possible. And the activities will be 30 to 45 minutes once a week on Tuesday, And the goal is really just, I know at least where I live that because we're in a pandemic, schools have already said we're going to be doing virtual learning. And my mom is a teacher, and so just knowing what she knows about the school system, I know that virtual learning is going to look a lot different, and it probably isn't going to be the same as in-person learning. And so I think that having, online STEM lessons and something sort of supplementary for kids is really helpful. And that way kids can still do lots of experiments and activities. These aren't going to be just like, watch the lecture, here's PowerPoint slide. The format is more so we do an activity and then we talk about the science behind it. And all of the activities use materials and supplies that are either household materials or easy to find at like a grocery store. And the goal is just that as many people as possible can still do fun activities and still get to see other kids their age and just, learn about science.
Oh, that's perfect. I was going to ask you that. So basically when people are registering, you're going to send them out a list of things that they're going to be needing for those classes.
Exactly. Once people register, then I'll email out everyone the list and, of course, the Zoom link. And then the cost for every workshop is $5 for every once a week for every workshop.
And how do they pay for it? Do they send it to you through PayPal?
Right, through PayPal or Cash App, whichever one is easier.
So this is going to be an easy thing for people to do all around the world, which is a great thing because a lot of our listeners, we do have quite a few listeners in the United States, but we are now listened to in over 30 countries. So to be able to have something like that for our young listeners throughout the world, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm really excited that you're going to be doing this.
Me too. I was thinking, so over the summer, I led a STEM club partnering with 4-H and then also on my own. And I was really surprised when I was talking to one of the students' parents after class. And she was like, yes, we're actually in Cambodia right now. And it's so awesome to be able to just join in. And I was like, that's really amazing to think that you're all the way in Cambodia and your child is still tuning in to my STEM club. That's pretty amazing.
I think it's great, isn't it? With being on what we're doing now, and I think your generation especially, you're really taking advantage of the positivities about how we can use online to be beneficial for everybody. And having these classes and stuff is really going to help so many people in so many areas. So I'm really excited about that. And I want to share your Facebook group too, so that more people can can check it out. And can you just repeat that link to everybody again?
Yes. So on Facebook and on Instagram, it is Cool Kids Science RVA. No capitals or anything like that. Cool Kids Science RVA.
Excellent. And another thing, Alexandra, you said that you are currently in university and that you're really into, I think, biology and physics you were mentioning. Is there something that you'd like to complete at that?
So as of right now, and my parents can tell you, my goals are always changing, but as of right now, I would like to go into something in genetic engineering or biomedical engineering, something like that. When I was younger, I had scoliosis, and so I had to wear a back brace for 3 years, and that was really painful. This was during middle school. And so part of the reason of why I wanted to go into genetic engineering is because when I had scoliosis, I started researching and learning more about scoliosis. And I was thinking if there's a way to have some sort of preventative measure for people with scoliosis or similar illnesses or things like that, that would be really interesting. And I started to become more passionate about learning about just diseases and things like that and how they can be prevented or how you can diagnose them early on. That way you don't have to get to bracing or get to whatever the next measure is. And so as of right now, I'd like to go into something in genetic engineering or biomedical engineering.
Oh my goodness, girl, you're going to be changing the world. I can just tell right now. I'm so excited to see what the future is going to be holding for you. And last thing, you mentioned when we had talked a little bit earlier that you are currently writing a book. Is that something that you want to talk about?
Yes. So I am currently, I guess I should say, for the past year, I've been trying to get myself to finish working on this book that I really want to write. So the idea behind the book is that I know so many amazing girls near where I live who are doing awesome things, whether that's speaking up for causes that they care about, being an activist through writing or through speaking, whether that's through starting their own STEM organizations, whether that's through organizations for girls, whatever it may be. A lot of my friends are just doing really incredible and awesome things, and so I wanted to write a book talking about them, but for younger girls and more of a like a story format, just to encourage other girls. Like, these are some incredible things that other young women are doing, and here's sort of how they got there, and here's why giving girls opportunities is so important. And so that is the theme of the book that I'm working on. I finished the draft, and right now I'm just working on the publishing part. So I'm super excited.
I love it. That is absolutely fantastic. And yes, you do have quite a few amazing girls in your area that do so many fantastic things. And it's really cool to see, because you don't hear a lot about that. But that's what we're trying to show on the Divas That Care is, showcase amazing, amazing young women like yourself doing extraordinary things, so that you can inspire and empower so many other people, not just obviously in your location where there is so many of you, but all around the world. And we need more girls like you doing the things that you're doing, because Alexandra, you are doing so many amazing things. And, when I listen to your stories, it inspires me to be even a better person, and to know that the future is going to be absolutely wonderful because of you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I always say, whenever people are tuning in, I always think that's so incredible that they're able to offer this opportunity for me. How can I then turn around and offer an opportunity for someone else? It's always my mindset.
Well, that's a great way to be. And as I said, you're going to do extraordinary things. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and hearing more about it. Well, Alexandra, I had a fantastic time. I hope that you come back on our program in the future.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And, a big shout out to all of our amazing listeners. As I said, it's because of all of you that we've continued to do this program for 10 years now, and have the opportunity to interview amazing young divas like Alexandra. I am just so excited that she was on our program today. I will be posting all of her links on our social media. Make sure that you check that out, and make sure that you take this podcast and send it to your friends and family, and especially the young divas in your lives. I know Alexandra is one of many inspirational role models out there that are inspiring the young girls of tomorrow. So thank you so much, Alexandra. Thank you to all of our amazing guests. I hope that you all have a fantastic day, and that you remember to do something kind for somebody out there. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.